Hello everyone, let's talk the yard, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about the yard. Let's talk about the yard. Awesome, welcome everyone to our second episode of Let's Talk. We are here at the Lower East Side location of the yard. My name is Eduardo Placer. I'm the CEO and founder of Fearless Communicators, a dynamic public speaking coaching business. And it is my honor and privilege to have Mandy Menaker from Shapr here, who is a resident of the Lower East Side, the yard. Round of applause. Yay! So with here at Let's Talk, we're really committed to celebrating our membership, and just having a moment to also bridge connection between all of the different businesses and companies and individuals who make our beautiful community thrive. So today, Mandy is here. And Mandy is in marketing. What is your title? You're in marketing?
I am head of PR and brand development.
Head of PR and brand development.
It's very fancy sounding.
Very fancy for Shapr. So why don't you share a little about your company and your journey to that?
Sure. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on today. I am so excited to just share a little bit about what we're up to at Shapr, and also just be a part of this talk show. It's great.
Awesome.
So I am over at Shapr. For those of you that don't know what Shapr is, we're a completely free app for professional networking. We're available for Android and for iPhone, and we allow you to very quickly set up a profile using your LinkedIn. You pick up to 10 professional interests, things such as hashtag public speaking or hashtag marketing. And then the app actually curates for you a daily batch of suggestions of profiles of people who are nearby and who make sense to meet. So very similar to Tinder, only for professional networking, you're swiping through your match, right when you want to meet someone, and then when there's a match, you take that conversation offline and you actually grab a cup of coffee.
Awesome. And is it like a referral networking thing? Meaning like I'm looking for someone who's going to be a client or somebody who shares an interest that may be...
So it's a lot of different reasons. We definitely have people that are on the app that are looking to find clients. We have people on the app that are looking for partnerships. Awesome. We have people on the app that might be exploring a career change or just looking to meet people in a new city. Maybe you just moved to New York from LA, you don't know anyone, and you're just getting started and building your connections. So there's a lot of different reasons that we have people using the app.
Awesome. And the company was started in France.
It was, yes.
And it's not Shapr, right? It's Shapr.
Shapr, yes.
And so and you had shared before that that they had from the very beginning they wanted it to be an American company. So what was it in the marketplace that they were looking for specifically? Like what problem were they looking to solve that created this swipe right, swipe left? Kind of app situation?
Sure. So Shapr was actually created by 5 French founders, 2 of whom met when they were working on their previous company.
Yeah, that sounds like a party. 5 French founders. Say that 5 times. 5 French founders, 5 French founders, 5. That's a tongue twister.
Oh, you got 2 out of 3.
That is my new one. That's my new tongue twister.
So they actually met when they were working on their previous company. As they were building it, they realized how important their network is. Your network are the people that you turn to for advice. Your network are the people that you turn to say, who do you know in marketing that I can hire? Or how do I get in front of this one investor? And so they wanted it to be easier to build your professional network. Because right now, I think there are a lot of different ways you can network. You can go to events, you can meet someone in a co-working space, but there's not really one easy way to do that where you can just do it as part of your everyday routine in your pajamas. And so they wanted that to be Shapr.
Which I love. I'm in so many networking events, right? There's so many networking events in the city, but there's something really nice about like sitting in the subway, like as I'm going from one place to one place with my transit wireless Wi-Fi, logging on and just being like, let me, see who's around, like who can I meet with?
Absolutely. Right? So, and events are great. I love events. I think that when you have the right event, the right group of people, the right energy, it's wonderful. But the hard part with events is that for busy people, sometimes at the end of the night, the last thing you want to do is walk into a crowded room. You don't know who to talk to. It can be sometimes a little awkward if you've never been in that space before. And Shapr does the work for you of finding the most relevant people to grab a cup of coffee with so you can skip the event and instead spend your time really building a meaningful relationship.
And I think, one of the things that you talk about is it really is, networking for millennials. Right. It like really solves, not solves, but it really looks at how millennials interact with technology to solve how they would network. And I think it also is really useful for people who may be really introverted.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I think for people who may be nervous about attending an event with like 50, 60 people that you don't know, or 100 people that you don't know. Like this is a way for them to not be thwarted by that experience and still connect in a way that may be more intimate and more streamlined, like because you've already kind of done the due diligence to find the person who would probably be the best person for them to meet.
Right, absolutely. You know, I think it's both finding the right people. So we use actually an algorithm that was built by data scientists. Okay. So it does not get cooler than that. We're actually using science and tech to find the best matches for you.
Love it.
And then we are eliminating the awkwardness of needing to figure out what to say to someone, how to break the ice, how to learn about them, because when you look at a profile, you already see why they're looking to network, who they are, where they work, you know, a little bit about what they actually are hoping to get out of that relationship. Right. And you have to say yes, both people have to say yes before you're able to actually message.
Awesome.
So it takes that, you know, kind of awkwardness out of networking and makes it so easy that it becomes part of an everyday habit where you're networking on the go and building hopefully 1 to 2 new relationships offline each week, as opposed to when you just need something to happen. You know, if you're looking for a job, the best time to build those relationships is long before you start looking.
Right, totally. Now, how long have you been in business?
So we've been around for 2 years.
For 2 years, so it's a pretty young company, right?
Yes.
You know, and you've been in it for how long?
For a year.
For a year.
And one thing to note, we actually relaunched the app about a year ago.
Awesome, so there was a pivot.
There was a pivot.
Awesome.
So we started actually in 2015, and when we launched, the original launch didn't go well because the app was overcomplicated, and so they actually scrapped 70% of the code. They spent time meeting, actually the CEO met with 150 of our users face to face.
That's so awesome.
And just said, you know, tell me about what you like about the app so far, what's missing, what do you want to get out of it?
Yeah.
So we relaunched the app in 2016.
So let's put a pause button because there's something about, like, we talk about challenges and we talk about celebrations, right? So like there was a challenge, right? There was something about the product that was not working.
Right.
Right? And like just really like looking at the innovation and the leadership of your CEO and the co-founders, right? That they like went back, you know, and like actually did the due diligence and actually reached out to people who used it and said, what's missing?
You know, it's amazing because I think that's really the thing that sold me on joining this company. The fact that the founders of the company, the CEO, Ludwig Caro, was open to saying, okay, things are not working well. Let's take a moment and figure out how we can actually improve our experience for our users. And the thing that was most important to them was not their pride in that moment, but figuring out how they would actually solve what they set out to solve. Awesome. And I think that that's something that is sometimes very difficult, especially when you're a young company. You want to be successful at first. You want from the first moment for that to go great. And that's not always the case. And so they really had to stop after getting all this great PR. They were in TechCrunch and VentureBeat and all these places, right, when they launched. They had to say, okay, let's pull back on marketing. Let's pull back on talking about the app. Let's figure out how we can actually make it something that people are going to benefit from.
And celebration, hashtag no big deal. Last Tuesday you announced what?
We actually just raised our Series A. We raised $9.5 million.
I mean, a $9.5 million Series A is like hashtag no big deal. I mean, congratulations. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
And I mean, it's how much more gratifying to know that that celebration is coming from, you know, a moment where they really had to dig in and get dirty and just say, you know, what I love about it too is the focus was not on them, the focus was on their user. Right, so they really wanted something that was going to make a difference, and because they made that commitment and did that work, they had that payoff.
Absolutely, and you know what's cool about our Series A is that we actually have no venture capital. It's all through private investors.
Wow.
And a lot of those private investors are actually users on the app who, when we said that we were raising money, said, I really want to be involved, I believe in this product, I want to be a part of that. And so that's, you know, pretty much unheard of to raise a Series A of that much that's actually coming from private investors with no giant fund in there, but just people that say, I believe that much in your product and what you're building.
Right, so guess what I'm going to ask?
Sure.
I downloaded the app yesterday. I mean, yeah, surprise, surprise. Okay, so I downloaded the app, and I think that it suggested that I meet with you. So funnily enough.
Well, I'm glad that we're meeting.
Here we are. Okay, so here's Shapr. Okay. Here's the app, Kickball Change, and I went through LinkedIn. So just to kind of walk you through like what a user would go through, right? Well, first of all, who's this? My match is Mandy, Chief Networking Enthusiast.
That's me.
I mean, what are the odds? And here we are. It's suggested that we meet, and here we are meeting live. Okay, great. So I have this person. His name is Raul Dedos. He's an iron worker. He's a SAG actor and a photographer. Right, so are we looking at the different, like, what do you recommend determining whether or not somebody is a match or not?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the most important thing when you set up your profile is that you actually pick 10 interests that will help you to match and help to show who you want to match with.
Right.
So your interests, here, for example, it might be hard to see from there, but some of his interests are, for example, hashtag startups and hashtag networking. The interests that the other person shares with you turn orange when you look at their profile. So you guys actually have 3 things in common on your interests.
Yeah.
And then what's nice is you can actually see beyond that, okay, this person's really interested in photography, or they're also interested in marketing. When you look through their profile, you can get a sense of what it is that they're looking to make, whether that's a partner, or they're looking for a job opportunity, or they're just looking for a conversation. We actually have the #1 reason that people are on the app. 64% of our users say that they just are there to meet interesting people and have a conversation.
So awesome. So I'm going to look at this. So favorite ways to meet. Oh, this is so cool. I don't know if I can fill that out. But they're looking for previous organizations and then links to websites or whatever. So I'm going to just go through that. I'm just going to go through a couple of these and see what we do. So I'm going to pass. It's okay. Okay, so this is somebody else, networking, personal development, leadership, and team building. They're empowering people to aspire towards the accomplishment of their dreams. Yes, kickball change. They're looking for collaborators, talent to hire, new friends in town, industry professional training and coaching. So absolutely, this person is somebody who would totally be somebody. Somebody else, startups, personal development, networking, professional development, architect who makes good decisions. Communication consultant, totally, absolutely, to speak with authority and charisma. Awesome. We're like in the same business, but I always think, especially as far as networking is concerned, like there are 7-8 billion people on the planet, right? There's plenty of room for all. There's plenty of room for all of us to play.
Well, I think especially, so he's right now he just swiped on someone who's in a similar business, who's also a communicator.
Yeah.
Now, it might be that you are looking to throw together a big event where you're asked by a corporation to come in and do a 1-day workshop.
Yeah.
And you need to actually bring in other people to partner up with you on that, because maybe it's something that they have 500 people and you want to do breakout sessions.
Yeah.
So you need other people to do that with.
Totally.
It might be that is a great connection for you because that person has good tips and you're teaching workshops that are very separate. Maybe he specializes in something that's very separate from what you do. You work a lot more with solopreneurs. Maybe he's someone who prefers to work with a specific group. And so you can still learn from each other and get ideas.
Can I give you like a total high five about something?
Sure.
So I'm looking at the list of people.
I would have a high five before I knew what it is. I just like high fives.
But I'm noticing already that, specifically talking about this millennial landscape, like it's a diverse group of people that you have here. And if you go to a lot of networking spaces, it tends to be people that all look the same. So what's really awesome is like I'm looking at people of different ages, I'm looking at race, ethnicity, I'm looking at like a real cross-section of what New York looks like. And I think that's really important and powerful as like, sometimes spaces can be prohibitive. There's like entrance into a space that may be, I don't know, you're looking for people from the same schools or they had, so it kind of like limits oftentimes diverse voices from entering. So I kind of love that there's something really democratic about it. Is what I want to acknowledge.
I really like what you're saying about it because your network should be made up of diverse individuals. Your network should be made up of people from different backgrounds, different perspectives, people who can, add ideas to your life and add different perspectives of what they've gone through. I think the more people, the more diverse section you can have in your network, the more you're going to have different people to turn to and say, hey, what do you think of this idea? Or can you teach me something new today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love it. I'm a huge fan. I've downloaded the app. I suggest that you do the same. And I'm going to be sharing about it in the myriad networking groups that I'm in.
Thank you.
As like a fabulous tool to just expand networks. So thank you. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And thank you for letting me, like, walking through and having my own little tutorial. Is there a specific function that you would recommend, like, as somebody who is, like, new to it, that's, like, kind of an advanced feature?
Sure. So one thing that our users don't actually know often, because it's pretty new to the app.
I'm going to get addicted to this.
If you actually go into your matches, when you're looking at a conversation with someone, you can actually, first off, there's conversation starters. So if you don't necessarily know what to say, you can actually click on a specific conversation starter. You can scroll through and say something like, how's your day going? Or do you want to meet for a cup of coffee?
This would be so helpful for Tinder, right?
It would. I think the difference is on Tinder, you don't always know what someone's trying to get at when you meet up.
Totally.
Because we're just a professional networking app, we do, that was the second thing I was going to say, which is that if you actually scroll right on a match once you've matched with someone, there are actually 3 options in there. So you can report someone. So if you do come across someone that's trying to sell you on something right away, like an MLM marketer, if you come across someone who's trying to date you, we ask our users to report because we want to keep our community really strong.
Got it.
And you can actually do a reminder in there too. So if you match with someone, you message, and they say, I'm going out of town for a week, you could actually put a reminder on there just to say, hey, remind me tomorrow or remind me in a week to reach out. So
love it. And I love that it's orange, which is my favorite color. Yay! Awesome. That's an awesome tip.
Thanks.
I mean, I just feel like I'm leaving as an advanced Shapr user. So let's talk about, we're going to move to the next section. Well, actually, what's your favorite, you're here at the Lower East Side Yard.
Sure.
This is my first time in this space. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you haven't checked it out, for you in the yard community, come work here one day. Come to the rooftop. It's absolutely beautiful.
The roof is amazing. If you are a yard member, even if you're not, there's so many cool events that happen in this space. And you should definitely come and check it out. There's Wi-Fi on the roof. You can bring your coffee up and just hang out and work from there one morning.
Or take a meeting up there. Have somebody meet you and have a meeting. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous space.
I actually have my Shapr meetup tomorrow coming by the yard. So
awesome.
we'll sit up on the roof and have some coffee.
Oh my God, amazing. I love it. So we're going to move into our little 5 questions. Okay. So we're moving into that segment of our program. So the first question it has 3 parts, which is eat, pray, and love. So what city would you eat in, what city would you pray in, and what city would you love in?
That is a very good question. Okay. Eat, pray, love. So eat, I would pick New York. Because you can have food from every single culture here. It's amazing that I can have Mexican food one day, Ethiopian food the next day, and so much wonderful food that feels very authentic. There's just a really diverse group of people here cooking delicious food. So New York for food. For pray, I'm going to go with the mountains. Anywhere in the mountains.
Any specific mountain?
So I was in Estes Park 2 weeks ago in Colorado, and it was awesome. It was about 1,400 feet above sea level. Just elk everywhere. I was convinced I was a wildlife photographer.
I love it. Yeah.
I'm not. It turns out I'm terrible. I don't even have an Instagram because I have no need to post those photos. But definitely in the mountains.
Yeah.
And for love, I'm gonna have to go with California, the Bay Area, because that's where my parents are.
Aww.
And I want to go with parents on this round.
Yes. So your parents are still together?
They are. Yes.
Did they meet in San Francisco?
They did not actually met in New York. Their first date was in Central Park.
Okay, amazing. Awesome. And you also have a puppy.
I do have a puppy.
I don't know if it has to do with anything, but
I do have a puppy.
You have a puppy?
Yes.
Who's 3?
She's 3. She turned 3 on Monday.
And her name is Nala. And we love her.
Yes.
And she's downstairs.
She is downstairs. So another perk of being a yard member, you could hang out with puppies. There's lots of puppies about.
Yes, and always puppies. Lower East Side puppies. If you could have any other job, what would the job be?
That's a good question too. Probably because we're talking about dogs, I would go with dog walker.
Okay.
Not necessarily on the one day a year that there's a terrible storm, because I think that's just, it's awful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that my dog is small and doesn't need a walk on those days.
Yeah.
But on just beautiful days like today, the ability to just walk around town with dogs all day, or if you live in the mountains, take the dogs on a hike and actually get paid for taking dogs on hikes is pretty cool.
And you strike me like a take-charge dog walker, so I feel like the dogs would not be leading you. I have a feeling that you'd be like, I'm in control. I could see you with 7 dogs, and you're just
there's a system.
Totally owning it.
There's a system. You get your treat when you do the thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah, love it.
Yes.
Done. What is the best kept secret in New York City?
Can I share my secret?
Cone of silence.
Okay.
Yeah, you can share.
So I'm going to share my secret with you, but please don't tell everyone. Don't put it on Twitter. Just
keep it within the yard.
Appreciate it.
Cone of silence.
So there is a little street called Washington Mews.
Yes, I love Washington Mews.
It's right across from an NYU dorm, right by Washington Square Park. And it looks like you're in Europe when you walk onto the street. It's all cobblestones. It's these beautiful homes that are different colors. And it's actually where all the language buildings are for NYU. So people are coming out of German class or coming out of French class, all speaking different languages. There's even Vespas on the street. I don't know how or where they came from.
Yes.
And so you can actually take a book or take a snack and just sit and you feel like you're in Europe walking down Washington Mews.
Oh, I love it. Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Get dirty or read a book?
Oh, get dirty for sure.
Awesome.
I think you have to be in the trenches to learn how to do something. There are amazing thought leaders out there, and I don't want to discredit them at all because there absolutely are terrific writers, terrific speakers, and if you get the chance to speak with any of them, you should. But the best way to learn something is by making mistakes and then measuring them.
Yeah. And pivoting. Yes! And what is your secret to success?
Secret to success. I think the secret to success is surrounding yourself with really good people. So I feel really fortunate right now at Shapr that when I came onto the team, I was actually the 15th hire. I wasn't the first hire. And I came on because of the people that I would be working with. When I sat down with the CEO when we were first talking about coming onto the company, and he told me about how they pivoted the product, that for me is what sold me on working with them, because I like the idea of working with smart people that are humble and not afraid to make mistakes. And I have to say I've been really lucky in all the roles that I've had to just be surrounded by smart, incredible people that I can learn from. And I think that's the most important thing. Just continue to surround yourself with people you can learn from.
Awesome. I love that. And it's like, the moment that you stop learning is the moment you die.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Like at any point, we can always be in the space of learning, no matter who you are, and that just enriches us in every point in our life.
Absolutely. I think whether you're grabbing a cup of coffee with someone interesting you meet on Shapr, and just saying, what's the most interesting thing that you've read this week, or what's the most interesting thing that you learned this month at your job, that alone can be a conversation starter. And sometimes I'll say to, I'll be on a Shapr coffee and I'll say something like, tell me what it is that you wish you had known going into this week at work. And some of those answers are just such smart, well-thought-out answers. I think you can always be learning. You can always be getting inspiration from the people around you.
That's a great question. Do you publish on a blog great lead-in questions for your coffee dates?
I don't, and that's a really good idea.
That's an awesome idea.
I love that idea.
Yeah,
yes.
a primer of some questions.
Yes.
That question is really awesome because I think it bridges gaps. You're like, wait a second, I had no idea. Sometimes you'll meet someone and you're like, I don't know why I'm meeting this person, but I'm meeting this person.
Right.
And they may not look like a perfect fit for whatever it is that you're looking for, and then they end up being amazing. Because you ask a question like that, and then you connect with them on a human level. And sometimes I feel like in New York we're surrounded by human doings, because we're all doing.
Right.
And then this gives us an opportunity to connect as human beings.
It's funny because you never really know where in life a conversation will take you.
Yeah.
So, for example, I just was spending time last night with a friend of mine that I met when we were running events together, and we met in a very professional capacity and just, really love spending time together. And so she's now someone that I, see on the regular. Even my work here in the yard now as members, and we started off actually hosting events in this space. When I was at my previous role, I was at a company called Fluent City. We teach after-work language classes, and we were wanting to help to get samples of our language classes out there. And so we ran on the rooftop French classes and do sexy French slang. And we would do that with a little bit of wine for yard members, and that's how I learned about the yard. And then, flash forward 2 years later when I was looking for co-working space, immediately I thought of the yard. And so it may be that, in a relationship or in something you do that you don't see, an immediate response. It took us 2 years to need a co-working space, but when I was ready to move into a co-working space, immediately I thought of an organization that I already worked with.
This was it. Awesome. So what a wonderful note to end our conversation. So thank you so much for watching us today, and then also watching us on YouTube and on Facebook. And thank you so much, Mandy, for taking the time to share with us about your amazing organization. It's just such an honor, to spend this time with you. And I just really acknowledge you for your leadership and who you are as somebody who is powerful and committed to people fostering relationships that are going to grow and expand their businesses in a way that's like authentic and genuine and connected. So thank you for that. And you can see us next week here at 4 p.m., same place. We are going to be meeting with Susan Combs of Combs & Company, and we're going to be at the Flatiron South location. So we can't wait until then, and we look forward to seeing you as well. And until next time, don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments. Bye. Let's talk the yard, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about the yard.